Picture this. My 5-year-old Axel just graduated from pre-kindergarten. It's his last day of school, and he has waited all week for a special treat from our neighborhood ice cream shop, Gerald's. Finally, he orders his favorite screamer. Now, what's a screamer? A scoop of strawberry ice cream with some edible googly eyes, because why not? And hair made of blue cotton candy. We all walk out with our treats in hand, and we are excited. And then, splat! Axel's screamer hits the pavement, face first. Now, I need your help, fellow Toastmasters and guests. What happens next? Put in the chat or unmute and share if you're feeling bold. What would you do?
I would be so upset.
You would be so upset, right? A meltdown ensues next, Sandra, 100%. And what would you do? Okay. If you were in my shoes in that moment, what would any reasonable human do? And here's the spoiler alert. What happens next tells us everything about how we approach pain, not just as parents, but as friends, partners, and human beings. Introducing the fix-it reflex, aka silver lining syndrome. Most of us, if we're honest, would dash back and buy another quickly. Maybe make it a double scoop this time. We might say something like, "Oh, don't cry, sweetie. Look, it's all better now." And then we'd probably feel proud of ourselves because we fixed it. But in doing so, we might actually be teaching that feelings are problems to solve, that disappointment is an emergency, and that the answer to pain is to replace the loss, and quickly. Clinical psychologist and parenting expert Dr. Becky Kennedy teaches something called sturdy leadership. And it goes against everything we're wired to do in Screamergate. Instead of fixing, she says, to sit down on the curb with them and to let your child cry. To say, "Oh, this really sucks. You were so excited about that ice cream and now it's gone." You don't rush, don't minimize. And she says to validate first before problem-solving mode comes in. It's uncomfortable, and every part of you will want to fix it. But when you don't, here's what your child learns: that feelings aren't emergencies, and that disappointment won't destroy them, and that they can survive what hurts. They develop emotional resilience, the ability to feel without shutting down or escaping. And this is the same skill that transforms how we support people through grief. When someone loses a partner, a job, a parent, their health, a baby, our fix-it reflex kicks in with a vengeance. Well, maybe you should try dating again. Just get out there. Well, at least they're not suffering anymore. Everything happens for a reason. Well, at least you can get pregnant. These are things that we say to people all the time. And the hard truth is that they don't help anyone feel better. When we sit with someone in their pain without rushing them or trying all we can to get them out of it, we give them something far more powerful than any silver lining. We give them permission to be honest. We show them their loss is real. We remind them that they're not alone. When I sit with folks in this way, I like to say, this is as hard as you think. Because our culture treats grief like a moral failing. We have medicalized sadness and pathologized pain as a weakness. But just like Axel, learning to feel disappointment builds resilience. And here's where I want to leave you today. Axel isn't just any 5-year-old. When he was 2 years old, his baby brother died. And he has lived grief from an irreplaceable loss. And yet, he is vibrant, wholehearted, and joy-filled, and a grieving child. He is living proof that we are born with the capacity to hold deep sorrow and radiant joy. And when we resist that fix-it reflex, we become someone who can hold the full spectrum of human emotion. In doing so, we embody that love doesn't end when life does, and that remembering is not the same as being stuck. And so, what's in it for you? Everything. You become a better parent, a truer friend, a more grounded partner, a wiser leader. You become someone who doesn't flinch at the truth, who doesn't need to skip to the good part. We are wired for connection, presence, and for each other. So the next time the proverbial ice cream hits the pavement, resist the fix-it reflex and the silver linings. And instead, I invite you to sit down, look them in the eyes, and say, yeah, this really sucks. And I'm here.